Something that I hear or see few people talk about when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2 is the social aspect of the console. Many reviewers consider it more of an afterthought, which I think is a complete and damn shame. Because for the first time in history ever, Nintendo actually gave us a proper way to enjoy multiplayer games together with friends. Hi there fellow Nintendo gamers, my name is Veggie Vulture and today I want to talk about the social aspects of the Nintendo Switch 2 because gaming for me has always been a social activity. Even sitting in a dark room at home in my couch with a headset on yelling at my friends is something that I enjoy more than I can explain. It's something that I've been doing my entire life when playing Battlefield, when playing Counter-Strike, when playing all kinds of different games like Red Alert and different games with my buddies over, yes, a voice chat feature of the damn thing that I'm playing on at that particular point in time. It used to be Xbox, I've played some PlayStation online, but I've always been missing that aspect in Nintendo consoles. I love Nintendo for their consoles, for what they're doing, for the fun they bring to the table, but I've always been missing that one feature. So I've always been saying, with like through the Switch 1's life cycle, I've always been saying like, if this thing just had a little bit more power and it would have a proper, good working voice chat feature to chat with my friends and not having to put like earbuds in and connect to my phone and then have an earbud for here and my audio there and that kind of crap, I would be very happy. And then Nintendo absolutely delivered on that. They added a party chat feature to the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch 2 is much more powerful than the Nintendo Switch 1, which makes it the best social experience you can have in a console right now. And here's 3 reasons why. Reason number 1 is party chat. And you might be asking yourself, why is that guy that I don't know that's posting his first video on YouTube on this channel in ages holding a Pro Controller when talking about Game Chat? Well, for me personally, this thing is what makes Game Chat incredible. This is the Pro Controller for the Nintendo Switch 2, which is an incredible controller. I will review this later on this channel as well. But for me, what I do when I hit party chat, when I talk to my friend Sam is, by the way, my main Nintendo buddy. He's one of my best friends. I love the guy to death. And we play Nintendo games right now. We play Fantasy Life I, which is an incredible multiplayer game. I just put a one of those like old earbuds that you get with your phone. When you buy a phone, you used to get like earbuds that you can plug into the jack of that phone. They're very old. I had them laying around. I plugged them in right here, and it immediately picks up the microphone. I immediately have like the game audio in my ears, and it immediately automatically mutes the television. Now, all of that doesn't sound like super awesome and super fancy or whatever, but Nintendo has a way of adding a feature 35 years or whatever after like other people have added a feature, and the feature should have been there for ages now. But when they then finally do, they really nail it, and they really nailed voice chat, because for me, ease of use is what it's all about for a console. When I'm on a PC, I've been gaming on a PC a lot. When I'm on a PC, I expect some fiddling. I expect some fiddling with the settings and trying to make a headset work and updating my graphics drivers and all that stuff. But on a console, I want to sit on my couch, plug in my headset, dial up my friend, and he's just like, hey dude, what's up? And it just needs to work. And there's a few examples that just work and that just are really good, and I want to talk about quickly and why this voice chat is just incredible. First of all, the voice chat is native to the Nintendo Switch. It's not per game, so it's a party chat system like Xbox Live Party, whatever you want to call it. And the Nintendo Switch itself has a microphone built into it right here, right? So if you're playing handheld, and I've been trying this, playing handheld with Sam, we're doing Mario Kart, right? And he's talking through his Switch, but he's sitting like 2 meters away from it, and the Switch is still like picking up his voice very well, right? I can hear him through the speakers here, and I can talk back at him. So that works pretty damn good. I expected nothing from the microphone that's in here, but Sam is just playing handheld, and this thing is sitting, he's playing docked, and this thing is sitting in its dock, and he's sitting away from his television, and it's picking up his voice just fine. So that just works. This, I remember that back in the day with my Xbox, when I plugged in my headset in my controller, it didn't automatically mute my television sound. I had to mute my television manually. That's probably far gone now, but it's those little things that work for me. Like yesterday, my girlfriend was watching a series on her laptop, and I was like, I'm gonna play some Mario Kart. I sat down, and I was like, oh shit, audio, boop, plugged it in. She doesn't hear the audio of the television. I can hear the audio just fine. I can leave one earbud out so I can hear her when she's asking me something, which girlfriends tend to do. That kind of stuff just works. And then there is the settings part of Voicechat. Voicechat for Nintendo Switch has a few settings, which are great. You can separately, like in Discord, for example, you can separately slide your friends' volume of their voice for your preferences. So if a friend is talking a little bit too soft, you can boost them. If they're talking a little bit too loud, you can cut them. And you can do this per person that is in the chat room, which is great. It is something that has been existing for eternity, but having that on a Nintendo console with Nintendo games is incredible amounts of fun. And then you can separately, via a cog in the bottom right of the screen, you can separately adjust the volume of the game. So you can like balance the voice volume against the game volume, whatever you fancy or whatever you like, which is great to have. Now, admittedly, I haven't tested out the webcam feature and that kind of stuff. I'm just personally not interested in that. I just want to sit down and play a game. I don't want to like be on a webcam, that kind of stuff. So yeah, the voice chat, the quality is really good. I'm talking into my earbuds. We're never like, what did you say? Or what, this, that. We're never had any connection issues. The quality of the voice is insane, either from picking up right here or it's just plug and play, and that is why I absolutely love it. When playing Mario Kart with my friends or when playing Fantasy Life with my friend, it just works. It's native to the Switch, so when you move out of a game, you don't lose connection. You don't need to message each other like, hey, I'm in the game, come to my party, in order to voice chat like we used to do on Warframe on the Nintendo Switch 1. On Warframe, there was voice chat on Warframe on the Nintendo Switch 1. Not a lot of people know that. But we had to like go to Warframe and then go to that particular chat. If we wanted to play any other game, we'd need to like connect to Discord on our phone, have our volume separately, yada 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 yada. Stuff like that. Now, reason number 2 was true for the Nintendo Switch 1 already, and that is couch co-op out of the box. Most consoles, whether you like it or not, most consoles come with one controller. One controller that kind of looks like this. Either it being the Xbox controller or the PlayStation controller. One of these controllers comes out of the box with a Xbox or a PS5, if I'm not mistaken. But with Nintendo, you get 2 controllers out of the box. And it's these little things. Now, it was true with the Nintendo Switch 1, but I wanted to point it out because not only does Nintendo offer great out-of-the-box couch co-op in the form of Mario Kart World. Mario Kart 8, the same, was great. Mario Kart 8 couch co-op with a Joy-Con. But with Mario Kart World, you have a great couch co-op, but you also have better Joy-Con. These Joy-Con, although not ideal, I'd rather play my Pro Controller. I'd rather play them like both attached to the grip. But holding these when you have nothing else is infinite amounts better than with the Nintendo Switch 1, just because they're bigger, and also these buttons are bitter. These buttons are bigger, better, bolder, whatever you want, right? So if you have friends over, in my case, I have friends over, right? And they're like, oh, you haven't Switch 2, right? Yeah, want to play a match of Mario Kart? I bought this thing. Right? Which gives me 3 people that can play Mario Kart with me. Now, it goes even farther than that, because I also have a Pro Controller of the Switch 1. Meaning that I personally have 4 people that I can play Mario Kart with, right? Just because there's always this extra controller that people can use in order to play Mario Kart when people come over. And that has always been something that is true for Nintendo. Nintendo has always had great couch co-op games in, like, they always add, like, couch co-op in, like, games that aren't necessarily built for it. Like, for example, Mario games offering a chance for you to join in and join the game, Donkey Kong joining the game, that kind of stuff, right? So you have that, but you also, out of the box, have the extra controller. And I just wanted to quickly point that out because the controllers, the Joy-Cons, are much better, they feel better, they have better battery life, and something that is really, really, really important that I was almost forgetting is that they reach much further than the old ones. The old ones, when I was in my sofa, my couch at home in front of my television, and I leaned back in my couch, I would lose connection to them. I needed to always, like, if I played with these separate from the Switch 1, I needed to put my Switch 1, like, I needed to move it, like, up a meter or something like that in order to keep the connection stable enough to play. I just wanted to point that out. Great couch co-op out of the box because you basically get an extra controller. It's half a controller, but you can use it. And then there's Gameshare, which the last time I remember them doing Gameshare was with the DS, if I'm not mistaken, where you could, like, share your copy of Mario Kart with a person who was sitting next to you, with for them to also enjoy Mario Kart. And I remember they could only play as a Boo, or was it another character with, like, some ghostly character, but they could race. They had the full experience, everything. Now, I haven't really tested out Gameshare yet, but I'm really excited to do that in the future and to actually review that feature on my channel, because I have been hearing mixed reviews of it. I've been hearing mixed stuff about it when you are further away from each other. Some people are having, like, frame drops in certain games. Certain games support it, but really aren't built for it, like Fast Fusion, for example, which is like a super fast racer. But essentially what's happening when you do Gameshare is that one Switch is running the game and the other one is streaming the game from your Switch, meaning that your Switch has to work harder in order to get all of that stuff done, which means you get frame drops even if you're playing natively, because you're kind of like putting extra power out there. I'm like trying to put it in vague human terms instead of like really technical terms, but you also putting the power over there. But the other guy is streaming it, so the other guy is also like experiencing like lesser frames, lesser resolution, that kind of stuff, which I think is a natural phenomenon to happen when you do Gameshare. And we're trying to, but I think the fact that the feature is back, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate the fact that you now have games that you can Gameshare with your friends. So if they're on the edge of buying a game, they're on the fence, right? They're like, hey, that one game you're playing there, is it great? And you're like, you know what? It actually has Gameshare. Wanna try it? Wanna just like play against each other, few matches, few races, whatever, and they're like, yeah, sure. And then they're like, it's not for me, or they're like, yeah, I really want to experience the full game, I'm gonna go out and buy it. So it is a marketing thing for Nintendo, but it's also a convenience thing for us. And that's it. Now, of course, there's also more features to the Nintendo Switch that make it a social thing. Like every handheld that Nintendo has ever done, you can link it up with your buddies. You can go over to your buddy's house and play locally, wirelessly, which is, of course, also something that other consoles don't have. Like, for example, if you're playing Fantasy Life I right now, right? Like me, I'm like religiously playing it. I love it to death. You're playing multiplayer with your friend and you're playing online, yada 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 yada, right? At a certain point in time, they're going to disable the servers. Now, they're sold like over 1 million copies, so it's gonna probably last very long, but they're going to disable the servers for that game or for the system that it's on. There is only one system that has wireless local play for that game. So if you ever in like 15 years from now, you're like, you know what, let's revisit that island that you had. I really liked that island and we never finished that one dungeon. You remember we never finished that one dungeon? Yeah, I remember. Let's boot up the fucking game and let's go wireless and have a good afternoon of playing Fantasy Life I, just being super nostalgic about it in like 15 or 20 years from now. Which is something that is, I think is great. I think that's great. That's great that we have that local wireless going to your friend's home with this powerhouse of a console is incredible. So those were my reasons why the Nintendo Switch is a super social console. On top of that, it's also more powerful than a lot of people think. It's really putting out some really cool and nice looking graphics with all of that like magic that the NVIDIA chip is doing with DLSS and all that stuff, which makes images look really, really good. The screen is incredible. The system is, to my opinion, just an incredible system and everything that I've ever wanted from a console. Does it have downsides? Yes, it has downsides, but I don't want to talk about them now. Talking about being social, if you want to play with me, right now that's Mario Kart and Fantasy Life, and whenever a patch for Warframe comes out for the Nintendo Switch 2, I will be going back to Warframe as well. Hit me up, my friend's code thingy is in the description below. Just add me, play with me. We'll have fun, we'll chat if you want. I'll never be on a webcam on my Switch, probably, but you'll hear my voice. And until next video, bye-bye. Also subscribe, hit the subscribe button, please.